And just getting to like into the homeowner's finances, it requires some process to gain that trust,
Right.
to be able to feel confidence about, yeah, we got to do this, and we really want to have this as an investment for your family.
So there's so much misinformation in the internet right now, and like, oh yeah, you can build this for $30,000, and people are gonna say, well, when you give them the price in there, all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, hold up here, I just saw this and it's like $20,000.
Welcome everyone to C&V Productions. Glad to have you here. Today we're going to be talking to Chris and CJ from ADUKO. Guys,
Hello.
Thank you for coming and being part of the show. As you guys also know, we have Victor, our co-host of the podcast. So why don't you guys start off by telling us a little bit about ADUKO.
ADUKO. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, CJ. Cecil and Victor. I'm CJ. Well, my background is in home improvement. I've been a contractor for almost 10 years, and just seeing different things throughout the experience. Being a contractor from residentials, I see those stories where mom, the homeowner says, contractor screw me out, they didn't finish, they overcharged me, etc., etc. So just trying to go by providing something better, something with more quality service. Just kind of tell the whole steps, being honest about it, the whole process, and just the need of learning and expanding. Just doing a little project could be like 1,000, couple hundreds, and then increases until the whole renovations, 6 figures. That's what kind of like obviously incentivate me to do more and to provide better service as I grow in learning all this trades and all this building aspect of renovations and remodels.
Okay. So how did you guys now?
And now when I meet Chris, getting into the financial aspect, that's actually what I needed, because usually when I have the project going to and it goes over the budget of the homeowner, this is I need to look for some financial options. All right, when you find it, get back to me. Obviously, I lost the client.
Right.
But now having someone in home, okay, let me just talk to my partner, and we go from there. And it's a close deal. It's a done deal. We have his business, one stop for all the services.
But you guys are sort of unique in what you're also offering with ADUKO, right?
Oh yeah, and I would like actually Chris to talk about it, so he can articulate it better.
Yeah, just tell us a little bit about what's the uniqueness of ADUKO in comparison to all the other guys, because you guys are doing something really different.
Usually when the company contracts for ADUs, I have seen that obviously it's a subcontracting, and in most cases they don't communicate it with the next trade is going to go. So in many cases it is over expenses, this overlapping process. So the drywall kind of messed up the project of the electrician. The electrician overdo things when it comes to the painters. The plumbing kind of mess up the work of the tiler, that kind of thing. So just by having a person in charge of the whole process and scheduling the time of every person that has to do the job, that is a plus. That provides time, and provides less expense. And again, with the finance aspect of it, it will be sure that the ADU that we're building is going to be at the right price for the longest time.
So before you jump into it, Chris,
Yep.
ADUs, what are they?
ADU stands for Accessory Dwelling Units. That's the proper term. Again, someone brought this up to me and it makes a lot of sense. They're like, well, you know what? That sounds good for the person who knows. But what about for the person who doesn't know? So you say, hey, Chris, what does ADU mean? Accessory dwelling unit. Oh, okay, great. What does accessory dwelling unit mean?
Right.
So think of it as a small home. That's what it basically is. Think of it as a small home. It has its own bedroom, kitchen, bathroom. It's livable. You can rent it out. So it's a small home essentially. It's a small home where it wouldn't be considered multifamily. That's why you can still have a single family with a small home or ADU for the property.
Got it. And so CJ was mentioning your portion of the business. So how do you fit in this picture?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys. Thank you
Sure.
for having me.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
As me and CJ continue to grow, we love being part of this to continue to educate everyone. Going back to your question, well, we met through an organization called CB&A, right? And he said to me, "Hey, Chris, can I speak to you at some point?" I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." So my background is in mortgages. I'm a mortgage loan originator. I pretty much help people qualify, whether it's residential, commercial. You can be an investor, first-time home buyer, or repeat buyer. It doesn't matter. I'll help you with that, right? So he comes to me and he says, "Hey, Chris, I have an idea for you. I have a vision. I have an idea." I said, "Sure, tell me." And I say this story all the time. He's talking to me about it. I was already familiar with ADUs, but he's telling me everything, his background, what he does, his experience. And as he's saying all of that, and I see where he's trying to go, I start looking into the future. I'm already like, okay, he starts telling me and I'm like, man, yeah, there's a lot of power in this. This is going to be gold. Da, 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 da. And then when he's finishing, I look back at him and like, let's do it. So basically where I fall in the picture, because he has the experience as far as the contracting part, building it from the ground up. I have the experience with the financial part. I understand mortgages. I understand programs. Not only that, I also have a pipeline, meaning that I have clients who already are homeowners, and depending when they own the home, typically 5 years. So if we're looking at COVID time, there's a ton of equity they have in their home, untapped equity. And if they have the space, guess what? That is untapped space that could potentially build income, generational wealth. Just, it's untapped. It's hidden treasure. Right. So where do I come in?
Yep.
Pretty much this is where I can say, well, if they have that untapped equity, we can get into the equity to help finance the project. Now they can build a small home and they can decide what they want to do. They can rent it out. They can have it for their parents, or if they have kids that went away for college and they come back, they have a place for them. So that way the privacy is still there, but still separate.
Yeah. So I want to tap into a little bit about the vision, or that cloud that popped in your head when he's talking to you about the ideas. For those business owners that are looking for new ideas or ways to expand, what questions were you asking yourself to kind of see that future vision where you're like, hey, we could do this. Hey, we could do that. What were you asking, or what discussion were you having with yourself to kind of have that foresight to say, hey, I see the potential. I see the opportunity.
Oh, that's an excellent question. One, I tend to be a visionary for sure. So one of the things I focus on when it's anything like that, any idea, you got to think about what's the problem. There has to be a problem, because when there's a problem, you got to find a solution. So what's the problem here? Immediately, I was like, well, one, there's a shortage of inventory. Two, how many single families are there in Connecticut, and families, they don't know how to generate extra income? There's two problems right there, and there's so many more. And I was like, okay, how can this project or this potential, this vision help solve that problem? And then that's how I go down. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of potential here. We got so many problems and we could provide so many solutions.
Got it. And CJ, question for you is, how did you know that Chris was the right person?
I didn't know, honestly. So I have my vision for probably the beginning of the year. Since December, I was just thinking like I should do something else. I was a subcontractor for many times for many companies. And then I see I should just kind of go a leap of faith and see if I can take the whole project. Because I'm always a middle guy who handles most of the project for less of the money.
Right.
So when just have the vision for a business standpoint, it's like I could probably do the whole transaction. I can just be the first connection between homeowner to run it. I wasn't feel like ready. I didn't feel like the right person. But then being on those events where you kind of like get into your boost of self-esteem, I'm gonna do it. Obviously, I cannot do it as by myself. I need help, and thanks to God, we met Chris. He opens my mind to other things. I did not know what he knew about the equity of the house and that. I heard, by other investors because I was always surrounded by investors, by people on the trade. Selling, buying, flipping. Like I want to do that. Obviously, we need some other preparation, capital, etc., etc. But now with Chris, this completely my idea was like ADUKO this, now it's ADUKO that.
Well,
So yeah, it expands completely my horizons.
that's a very good segue because your story really helps in understanding the benefit of partnership.
Absolutely.
Right. And a lot of small business owners that are getting into it or maybe thinking about growing, they're probably maybe stuck and trying to understand how to do that. So let's talk a little bit about how the partnership between you guys has really driven your vision and how do you think it can help other business owners that are looking to grow?
Yeah, well, first thing, he was not my first choice. Actually, I had a list of like 10 different people.
The truth comes
10
out.
different people.
Right?
10 different people.
Now we know.
And obviously, you have to hear the first no. And, after the fifth, sixth no, it's like, maybe I just go back to do what I was doing. But then let me try it again. So in the second round, then he was one of the first one who reached out to it. Actually, we met probably like a week before that. So I was reaching out to real estate people because my idea is like they have the database of homeowners who might need this. So that was my first go to real estate. I heard he was mortgage. I'm like, he might know some things. So I just like, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris, for you, I guess the opposite, right? So the same question for you. How did you know that this was like, you could trust this guy?
So there is no way of knowing, right?
Right.
And I like what he said too, because it goes back to everything, which is when you try to wait for the right time, you may not do it.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to start and figure it out as you go. Right. And then that kind of ties back into your question, which is how do I know he was the right partner? I did it in the beginning. What did lead me to, all right, let me check this out is his passion, honestly. That's what gave me like, all right, he's onto something. And I could see it, as the movie says, the eyes don't lie,
Right.
So it's like, man, I can see the passion. I can see that he really wants to do something here. Right. And I was like, all right, let's see how we can make this work. And then once we started like laying out the idea, then that's when I was like, oh, wow, this is something, this is gold right now. Right. And that's the beautiful thing because no one may not see what you see, but as long as you can see the vision and what it could potentially be, that's all that matters. Yeah. The rest of the noise is just noise.
That's great. That's great. A lot of business owners are probably falling into that same situation.
Absolutely.
Like, they're struggling. They're trying to get things going and they've got a vision, but everybody's telling them it can't work.
Yep.
And they believe in it. It will work. That's a testament to you guys doing that.
Partnerships are I think people think they're easier. Like it's an easy two-way street.
Right.
But talk about some of the challenges that you guys have faced, just getting into business together and maybe some of the challenges that you faced with ADUKO.
Well, challenges now it's learning that we need to gain trust. So as I was doing other businesses, for me, I was in business for a long time. I can sell things for a couple hundreds. I can sell clothes. I can sell colognes. I can sell gadgets for computers. Those things, couple hundred, it was easy. But just to sell something that it kind of costs about over 100,000, you need some sort of preparation. You need to engage. You need to get trust, etc. So that's the timing that it takes. Building this, full disclosure, is between 180 to 200, 220 $1,000 that we need to kind of come up with, and just get into the homeowners' finances. It requires some process to gain that trust,
right? To
be able to feel confident about we got to do this. And we really want to have this as an investment for you and your family. Just to get that connection, it's a process.
Yeah.
It's not something that has to happen overnight.
Yeah.
We're talking about trust. How are you really doing that? Because I can imagine a small business owner or a growing business owner looking to upscale into larger products or services. Just like you said, it's easy for you to sell the 200 here. Or now you're talking about something that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So what do you do to get to that level to say, okay, how do I get that comfort with my client or customer to make them feel like this? Not only that I believe in what I'm doing, but get them to believe what's going to help them? How do you?
This week, actually, I had 6 appointments, different people, different backgrounds.
Let's go.
And I was talking on Friday as I was leaving my last appointment. I'm like, the guy, people know now with all technology, they know when you pull off, when you just, not really yourself, when you know your stuff. So, customer says, oh, you already inquired another company to assess it. They were so pushy. They were just kind of like said, yeah, we can do all that. We can do everything. Just sign here. Like, no, I need to get more info. So that's part of my consultation. I think that's what ADUKO does different is consultation, face-to-face. Just learn about you. What's your situation? What you're looking to do. This particular homeowner had a daughter coming back and obviously need some other living space. So reach out to my knowledge different towns has like, I can build something here, something there. We need to remodel this. I'm like, we can probably do the ADU, which is probably going to bring some income. And a few months with the income, then we can start thinking about renovating your home. Renovating, and I can reach out to different type of loans for renovation loans, etc. Now that I know. So they realize when you are really genuine on what you're offering and not really looking to get money in your pocket.
So speaking of, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to add on to that, and to answer that question too. Pretty much, how to gain trust is first of all you got to know your product, right? Absolutely. You have to know your product.
Absolutely.
So the other thing is, AI is great. We're living in the era of AI. So first we lived in the era of not enough information. Then we lived in the internet, a lot of information. Now we're in AI where it's like you don't know what's true. Right?
Yeah.
So there's so much misinformation in the internet right now, and like, oh yeah, you can build this for $30,000, and people are gonna say, well, when you give them the price in there, all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute, hold up here, I just saw this and it's like $20,000. Right. But then when you start explaining it, this is how we start to gain trust because we educate them now. We don't disagree. We don't say no. We don't fight the objection. We acknowledge the objection. We talk about the objection and we educate them based on that. We'll say, well, this is the reason why, because when you look at materials due to inflation, here's what's going on. Now, yeah, you can buy a shell, like this is a shell. I can place it there, but it's not grounded. So it's not going to be stable for a long period of time. Right? That could be more affordable. But if you're going to invest in something that, that's going to be this, you want it to last for a long time. Right? And like anything else in life, you can buy cheap clothing, but then it'll, is affordable, but it's done, right? Yeah. So the education part is also very, very big for us.
Got it. So trust is one piece to scale. But what strategies do you find are and are not working when you're targeting your audience, customer base that you're looking at?
In my case, like I said, the vision is started with just the actual ADU, which is a little home in the backyard of your home. But now I learned that in many situations we cannot really do an ADU in the back of your home. It could be attached to it. It could be on your garage. It could be on your basement. And there's the whole learning of like not just the vision of a little home in the backyard. Sometimes you don't have enough space. You don't have the permits that allows you to do it because of wet zone, etc., whatnot. Is where we can do some other things on the attic, on the garage, on your basements. Yeah, it's a whole learning things.
So you're basically saying, hey, you need to be able to adjust and pivot.
Yeah.
Just because you're saying, hey,
that's correct.
You have to learn that not everyone has the real estate.
Right, and that's what it comes with the first consultation. I spend an hour with the homeowner, seeing all the property, looking around, and just listen to their needs.
Yeah, that's one portion. Then the other portion is the finance part, right? Because let's say what do you do if the client doesn't have enough equity? Right. Now, we got to figure out, and this is like full transparency. This is the part where we are as business owner because how long has it been?
3,
4? A month or so? Oh, no. Since ADUKO?
Couple months.
Right? So as we growing, we're also learning. And one of the things we're coming into is how do we get that done if they don't have the equity? So this is the part we got to get creative and we got to look into loans. And essentially, what we're looking to do is how can we figure something out that we can have it all under one roof? That's the part that we're, trying to figure out here. because we understand, and I don't want to go too much into it, but essentially we feel that once we figure that missing piece of the puzzle, it's where it's going to be like a huge game changer.
And so I guess in this current economy, what are you seeing are the biggest challenges for your homeowners?
Well, the equity part, depending on when they bought the house. And then with inflation, we have something called debt to income ratio. If they are going to go into another loan or even to refinance or whatever the case may be, if they don't have extra income already, that can play a big factor, because with each program, you have certain thresholds. So that can be very challenging, especially with the way the economy is right now.
Yeah. I guess so who would benefit most from getting an ADU? Is it like, obviously we live in Connecticut, we're in Connecticut, and there's some individuals who have high property values, but does this benefit the small, like say small home, I'll call it small homeowner, but those people that don't have the $1 million homes, for example?
That's actually what we're trying to do. So we're trying to tap into that kind of population, because ADUs has been existed for a long time. In Greenwich areas, there is people who does pool houses, pool houses for like $500,000. Right. And it has the whole thing. It has bathrooms, it has showers, it has laundry, all that, basement, all that. We're trying to do something more affordable, something more practical, with the vendors that I have for materials, just to keep it under that range of $200K. Again, to bring some value, some equity, something that they can utilize to pay their mortgage and to create some sort of income source or wealth. What do you call it? Wealth.
Generational
wealth. Yes.
And that's just one portion, right? Because not a lot of people understand that part. Yes, you're going to get, if you're going to finance, you're getting into debt. But if you look at it as a liability, then you got to understand this is not something you're going to get into and expect results tomorrow. This is for the long term. Because yes, you can rent it out, build some income that way, but you also force equity onto the property. And in due time, as we all seen, property value always goes up. Yeah. And that's the name of the game. In X amount of years, now your property is worth so much more. Right. So you have so many things that you can do with that.
That sounds great.
No, it's definitely a great add-on to someone that has a property already. Just like you guys were saying, there's different situations that come up. Kids coming back from school, where a lot of Generation Xers have older parents now. They want to move them back into the house. Something like this would be perfect to have on a property if you can, and have a space for a loved one. Yeah, pretty much. So it is some good work that you guys are doing, especially in making it affordable.
Yeah.
Right? Now, this portion of the show, we're getting towards the end. This portion of the show, we get to give you an opportunity to sort of talk about some of the things that you have coming up that you'd like to talk about, maybe some projects, some events that you may be having coming up. Let people know how they can reach you, talk to you, build on their business, or have any questions they may have in the future.
Well, we're still connecting with different people, organizations to have this exposure. But for now, just can reach us to ADUKOCT.org. ADUKOCT.org is the website, and social media, Facebook and Instagram is ADUKOCT for Connecticut.
Great.
So that's ADUKO, ADUKOCT.org.
Which is actually the knockout of ADU.
Okay. I was going to ask about that.
Okay. Which is funny, because when he came to me with that, I was like, man, I like that. It sounds like samurai, like martial arts,
Yeah.
Like, I dig it.
It's awesome. All right. Well, guys, thank you for being on the podcast. And to those of you who are watching, really appreciate you taking the time. And we'd like you to subscribe. Reach out to ADUKO if you have any questions or would like to learn more about their business. And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode. And definitely subscribe and let us know if you have any comments. All right? Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.